All right. Welcome to Sideboard MTG. It's Sunday, Subscriber Sunday, so 4-hour Sub Sunday. We've got some nice community decks from over at the Reddit. If you want to get your decks posted on our Subscriber Sunday or played on Subscriber Sunday, first thing you got to do is you got to post them over on the Sideboard MTG subreddit. The link is in the description box below. And it doesn't cost anything. It's just a forum so that, if you can get some feedback on your decks and such. We try to go through those from time to time. I'm going to start trying to do that a little bit more often here on stream. So, people can get a little bit more familiarized with it, and maybe we can get some more votes and such. But even if you don't post, don't forget that you can go over to the subreddit and just vote on decks. Give them an upvote. If you don't like them, give them a downvote, if you will. And it's a voting system. That's exactly how it works. And tonight's top votes got gameplay. We've got some pretty cool decks. One of them is a counters deck, Simic counters deck. That's a green-blue deck, and all it cares about is putting +1/+1 counters on things and swinging through unblockable. Then we've got a combo bats deck using Desecrated Tomb and a lot of cool ways to remove creature cards from your graveyard, even some of them going back onto the battlefield. And then we've got a Path of Mettle deck by Kenneth Holbrook. We got one by Dragon Lord, Kenneth Holbrook, and I forget the last. Oh, it's Madness. That's right. So we're going to be starting out with Madness's deck. I hope if you like it, you give it that thumbs up. If you like the content in general, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you want to see Deb's deck, I know a lot of people are asking me about the mono black deck. He just come out with a Bant deck, Bant control deck with no Teferi, no Fog, and I'm going to be playing that one here soon as well. So after tonight's show, we do have the mono black aggro coming up for you guys. I know a lot of people want to see that, so we're going to be doing that later tonight. I'm going to be streaming that as well. And then this week, not going to be a lot of live streams, guys. It's Thanksgiving. I'm going to be going out of town, and are we good? Are we good? All right. I'm going to be going out of town. So I am not going to be able to live stream, but I am pre-recording some videos. I'll give you guys a snapshot at some of the. It's going to be a kind of an Is It theme for the days that I'm gone. We're going to have an Is It Dragons list. This is a list by Jareth Miles. And then we've got an Is It Drakes list, which is the Is It Phoenix list from the Pro Tour. I'm going to be playing that, so that's going to be our Tier 1 deck. And then I've got an Is It Storm list that is my brew. My version of 1,000 Year Storm. I know a lot of I've been promising you guys I would run the 1,000 Year Storm deck. We're going to be running that. I kind of went my own route using some things that I had seen. I watched a lot of 1,000 Year Storm videos, and there were certain aspects that some of the decks had and some of the decks didn't, and I wanted to incorporate the ones I liked, and toying around with the deck a little bit. I felt that there were certain cards that it just needed and stuff of that nature. So we're going to be playing with that. And then the last deck I've got for you guys is I'm going to be running my version of Sarkhan's Unsealing. This is the Naya Sarkhan's Unsealing deck that we worked with for some time back. After tweaking with the deck and working with the deck as much as I possibly could, finally found a reasonable area where I want to be. So I've got those 4 decks coming up for you guys this week. Again, I'm not going to be streaming. Those are all going to be pre-recordings. But I am going to have those posted, so you guys will get some nightly content. I know you guys do want to make sure that you still got something to watch. I mean, it gets boring when I'm sitting around, I'm looking for videos, and it's like nobody's come out with anything new. I got to find something. So we've got some pretty cool lists coming up for you guys. I will say that unless someone pays me, this will be the last time I play Naya or Jun Sarkhan's Unsealing until rotation. I just think that the deck needs Jun Sarkhan's Unsealing just needs to wait. But we're gonna play with the Naya one more time here. So here we go. We're gonna play with Madness's deck right now. Logical. Oh man, that's it. That's the warm and fuzzies right there, man. I appreciate it. But we've got Simic counters here, and Simic counters is pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. I like the idea here. Let's go ahead and start off with. You know what? Maybe I should do it like this. Let's see if we can get this to work. If we bring that up. And we do this. Ooh, man, that's sweet. All right, perfect. Everything just worked. How about that? That's crazy. Okay, so we're going to start with Herald of Secret Streams. Now, this is the basic idea here, is that if our creatures have a +1/+1 counter on them, they can't be blocked. If they can't be blocked, we get to kill. So, just unsealing your coffee. Cheers to that, fella. Cheers to that. Be informed. I replied to your post on the Sarkhan's Unsealing deck. No, I was not very thrilled while I was playing it. I probably should have been much more chipper. But again, please take it heart that I am just not a fan of Jund right now. I think Jund is in a very bad spot based on its mana cost. Most of the good spells that you want to be casting in Jund right now are like double black, double red, and things like that. And it's just Jund itself is just it's heartbreaking for me because I love the color combination. I love Jund colors, red, black, and green. There's so many great things that you can do there, and I think that when we get those Rakdos lands and the Gruul lands, so much stuff's going to change. Even if we don't pick up good cards to go in those Sarkhan's Unsealing decks, the Jund Unsealing decks, there's so much power that just wants to be played right now, and it just can't consistently get off because of that mana base. And I think that all of that's going to be fixed, and man, it's going to be great. So we will have our time with the Jund Unsealing. Jund is the next deck you build for me. Oh, Zax, you know a way to put a man on tilt, don't you? Reminder that I still owe you a donation bonus. Okay, fair enough. Send me the list, Kenneth, and I will get you some gameplay out. So we've got this one, and I've got Cushy Dardens coming up. I wanted to do Cushies this week, but I think it's going to be coming up this weekend when I get back from Thanksgiving. So I do have that. But if you send me the list, I will play it there, Kdog. When I played your Jund Unsealing, you didn't have mana, right? Awesome. Well, I mean, you can only fix it so much right now. I mean, it's so hard to have, 18 black sources and 18 red sources, and it's just ridiculous. So it was going to be Jund Unsealing, but you figure something else out. Everybody's got a Jund Unsealing deck. You guys love Jund Unsealing. All right, well, anyway, let's get back over to Matt's deck. We're starting to talk about that. Let's talk about that a little bit here. We've got Herald of Secret Streams here. So this is a Simic deck that is all about putting +1/+1 counters on creatures. And with Herald of Secret Streams, if you have a +1/+1 counter on your creature, then that creature does not get blocked. So we've got a lot of creatures that just naturally put +1/+1 counters on themselves. So like cards like Hungering Hydra. Hungering Hydra enters the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters on it. The Hydra can't be blocked by more than one creature, but if you have a Herald of Secret Streams out, it can't be blocked by any creature. So automatically unblockable if you have the Herald out, but it grows. So as this thing takes damage, if they do have to put a blocker in front of it, if you don't have your Herald out, if it survives, then it's going to gain that many +1/+1 counters, get larger and larger. If their plan is to chump block it, chump block it, chump block it until you get to your Herald, then that's going to end up very bad for them in the end. We've got Jade Light Ranger and Merfolk Branchwalker. Both are really good at putting +1/+1 counters on themselves. Pelt Collector, as long as we play something larger than it, it's going to get a +1/+1 counter. We've got Dive Downs to protect our creatures, Spell Pierces to stop our opponents from being able to remove our creatures, things of that nature. Thorn Lieutenant, which he's not going to naturally get +1/+1 counters on him, neither will the Sky Raider Patrol. However, Sky Raider Patrol, at the beginning of combat on your turn, you can just pay Simic colors and put a +1/+1 counter on it. That works pretty well. We've got cards like Hadana's Climb that will put a +1/+1 counter on a creature at the beginning of your combat on your turn. So if it's a Herald of Secret Streams and you want to put a counter on it, you can. If you want to put a counter on Thorn Lieutenant, you can. Sky Raider Patrol, you can do that. Sky Raider Patrol also gives the creature flying, so another form of evasion just in case you don't have your Herald of Secret Streams down. We've got some Rabid Bites for removal. Singleton Negate to try to, like avoid, avoid a lot of things, like board sweepers and things like that. So it's nice to see Hadana's Climb. I love the card. I actually really do like Hadana's Climb. There's a lot of just broken stuff you can do with it. So in the sideboard, though, we've got Curious Obsession to help us draw cards. We've got Essence Scatter against the aggressive decks with creatures and such. More Negate to help keep the control decks at bay. Naturalize because there's a lot of enchantment based removal and things like that. There's a couple artifacts that people are kind of toying around with that you might run into that you want to destroy. Immortal Sun or something like that. You just don't want them to keep getting that card value. Golgari Raiders. This one's pretty cool. I mean, like, just a 4/4 body for 4 in a lot of situations. It gets the +1/+1 counters when it enters the battlefield. I mean, even if you get above 4/4, you're getting value. If you get below 4/4, then it's not like the greatest thing in the world. But getting those +1/+1 counters for each creature card in your graveyard is pretty sweet. Great way to come back from a board wrath or something like that. Path to Discovery, as our creatures are entering the battlefield, we can explore, which is another way to put +1/+1 counters on these creatures. I also think that with the number of explorer mechanics that we have in the deck, there's probably some merit to putting Wild Growth Walker in this deck. Wild Growth Walker may actually be a better card than Thorn Lieutenant in the deck. Not 100%, but when you've got the Merfolk Branchwalkers and the Jadelight Rangers and things like that, Wild Growth Walker will put counters on itself just for you playing the rest of your deck. And Herald of Secret Streams, will let him get in unblocked as well. So might be something you want to think about, Madness. But other than that, it's a pretty sweet deck. I like what you've done with it. The Curious Obsession's moving to the sideboard. It seems pretty good. It looks like you made some room for some Rabid Bites, being able to deal some damage and stuff like that. It seems pretty good. So let's jump into some gameplay and see how this turns out. 4 dive downs a bit much. Well, we'll see. If we run into a lot of removal based decks, then we'll be happy we had dive down. So the minimum, let's do this. Alright, so let's minimize that. We'll get back over here. Oh, transition. There we go. Should have transitioned then minimized, right? It would look smoother, right? Been more professional. Because we're professional. That's right. Welcome to Sideboardmtg. Professional magic right here. Well, we've only got 2 of our dive down right now. That's fine. Alright, so I actually think dive down works really good with Hungering Hydra. They think they're going to kill it, or they think they're going to like stop it in combat, and then all of a sudden you're like, dive down, it survives, and it's so much bigger. Alright, well, we're waiting to see what our opponent does here. Banana Hammock. Let's go. Was 4 Blossoming Defense ever too much? I don't think so. I think Dive Down and Hungering Hydra is a good combo. I really do. So, yeah. Looks like this hand's keepable. I mean, we'll turn to, like, Thorn Lieutenant. Whatever. Banana Hammock didn't want to play with us. Alright. Decob. Simic counters, here we go. Yeah, Blossoming Defense was a great card. Really, really good card. We won the die roll. We'd love to go first. Alright, this hand's a little much. I don't want this many Sky Raider Patrols. Just because, like, with all of these 4-mana creatures, I'm not going to be doing anything early game. And if I can't, like, get my first creature down till turn 4, we may just be dead. So, I'm going to mulligan. Sure. I'll keep. I mean, it's not the greatest thing in the world, but we're on the play. We'll put this on the bottom. And we'll just, you know, throw this Pelt Collector out. Pass turn. Target creature you control deals down. Okay, so it's not fight. Alright, remember, Rabid Bite does not actually make them fight. Your creature just deals this damage to their creature. There's another Rabid Bite. Getting in for one. Send that message. Your computer just auto-corrected Niv Mizzet. WTF. Opt from the opponent. Well, when you're thinking about it as trying to get damage through, protecting your Herald of Secret Streams could be just as important. We don't need this upkeep trigger here. So, I really just want to go for this Hadana's Climb. I want to assume that he just doesn't have counter like a lot of the Izzet decks and just can't stop this. He might be able to burn the Pelt Collector. Spell Pierce, you. Yeah, you. You know what you are. Spell Pierce. How lame ass shit is that? Who plays Spell Pierce? Watch us top deck a Spell Pierce. Because it's in here, right? Oh, okay, so it's actually a Jeskai deck, not what I was thinking. Alright, well, Merfolk Branchwalker. We'll see if we can draw out this counter spell or draw out a burn on our Pelt Collector. I'm going to leave that on top. And we'll just pass the turn. Opponent has killer lands. 7th edition lands, pretty sweet. M11. He's got an Innistrad Sulphur Falls. That's pretty cool. But we've got an Innistrad Hinterland Harbor. Oh, that's just Guilds of Ravnica. It's cool. Still looks cool. Play 1 or 2 Spell Pierces now. Good to deal with history. History seems good. I mean, yeah. Stopping a turn 4 enchantment, or a turn 3 enchantment, it's pretty good. Alright, well, I am going to go ahead and play the Merfolk Branchwalker. I want to go ahead and get the extra Explorer value in. Dive down. I'm going to put that in the graveyard. I don't want that right now. Alright. I mean, we're not lethal yet, but we're pretty close. We'll put him at 1 next turn. We need a Hadana's Climb off the top, just to give a +1/+1 counter. Well, let's swing into this, Settle the Wreckage. So putting him at 1 doesn't change a ton. He still has to be able to deal with each of these. If he deals with Merfolk Branchwalker or the Pelt Collector, like one of them will be, like if he deals with a Branchwalker, either of the Branchwalkers, the Pelt Collector will be lethal. So he's got to figure out how he's going to deal with the creatures on board. The Jeskai deck that won the GP played Treasure Map. Cool. Deafening Clarion. Alright. Alright. That'll deal with it. Okay, well we need some threats. Must pull threats. I just got rid of a dive down. We must pull threats. He may just play Niv. Well, he could. He definitely could. Blue, 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 red, red, red. Red, red wine. It would have been real nice to have dive down there instead of rabid bite, maybe. I'm going to play the Hungering Hydra for 3. I assume this just gets countered. Syncopate for 2. Okay. Alright, opponent. He could, but it wouldn't make it lethal, so I don't think that he would want to do that. I mean, not finishing me and just like taking my life total to half seems a little bit risky. When that same spell could protect him later, maybe. I don't know. I'm more worried about him like doing, you know, expansion explosion and then just drawing like a million cards. But I also figure like Teferi or Ralzeric or something like that's going to come down. Niv Mizzet's going to come down. Yeah. This type of thing's going to happen. Alright, well. Thorn Lieutenant. Well, at least that can swing into Niv Mizzet. I don't think Niv Mizzet's actually going to like target it. So he's scrying in his upkeep. Oh crap, we in trouble. Yeah, we're in trouble. There's no way he shoots the Thorn Lieutenant. No way. Nope, shooting me. So we either need like land. Yeah, we need like a land off the top just so we can activate Thorn Lieutenant and swing in. Right, I've been holding up an answer to Clarion. If this was instant speed, man, we could have him deal damage to Niv Mizzet. Let the Clarion go off. He's going to gain some life, though, which is horrible. Horrible. So Niv now has Hexproof, or Lifelink, and Thorn Lieutenant has Hexproof. So I'm not going to activate. I'm going to keep this available to activate in response to something. Activating would have put the opponent at 2. Yeah, it might have been nice to put him at 2 if he's going to Deafening Clarion, but then we would have been left without a threat, and he would have had lifelink, and he would have went right back up. So I think that we're better off to save our Thorn Lieutenant, to give him the ability to pump him. We can't win from here? Sure we can. Sure we can. This could be done, right? We top deck Spell Pierce or something. I don't know, Spell Pierce won't do it. We'd have top deck Spell Pierce and an island. Yeah. Top deck two cards. We just pocket a second card and draw 2 off the top online, right? You gotta believe, Rob. You gotta believe. Oh, what is he casting? Is this Expansion Explosion? Come on. Don't slow roll it. Well, that's control. Yes, it is. Old Niv Mizzet. He's pretty good. He's pretty good. Alright, so Rabid Bite's coming out. Even though like we've got to be able to deal with Niv Mizzet. Rabid Bite's coming out. I think I want Carnage Tyrant here. Golgari Raiders is probably good. Negate is probably good. Let's go with Curious Obsession. And I'll remove 1 dive down. Yeah, I'm gonna try to roll with it like that. Maybe the other negates, but I think that's more for like a just pure Jeskai, not like the Niv Mizzet control, but maybe we want these negates. Maybe I want negate over Spell Pierce. Yeah, maybe negate over Spell Pierce. Raiders? I'm more worried that he's gonna like just settle the wreckage, and we're gonna lose everything like via settle, but Deafening Clarion definitely puts a lot of stuff in the grave. What would we take out here? A couple Sky, like just keep the curve the same? Just take out a couple Sky Raider patrols? Like we still have the option for Sky Raider patrol, but like cut down on another 4-drop. Drop a collector for Path of Discovery. Maybe? Alright, let's keep this. We get the Branch Walker down. We really need to be able to get the Branch Walker down and get another blue source. Like for turn 3 we need a second blue so we can Curious Obsession and hold up dive down. Or Curious Obsession and hold up negate. So, like, getting a blue source would be terrific. I do want to just go ahead and go with the Merfolk Branch Walker here, though. Maybe it should have been Thorn Lieutenant, because, like, Thorn Lieutenant with a Curious Obsession on it is just automatically larger than a Deafening Clarion. So, maybe. There's a Sky Raider Patrol. You know what? I am gonna play the Thorn Lieutenant. So he's thinking about it. I could have protected that, but I'm not going to. Alright, Thorn Lieutenant, here we go. Let's do this. John Owens, thank you for subscribing. If you're new to the channel and you haven't subscribed yet, I highly recommend that you do. Helps a lot. Okay, well, we can't do multiple things here. If I hit a blue source off this, I'm going to be so upset because I played this other green source. Alright, so it was just another green source. I really want to get this Curious Obsession in, but I'm scared without a second blue source that I'm just going to play it and we're going to lose it. So, yeah. Technically, though, I should have played the Merfolk Branchwalker before playing the land in hopes of getting a second blue source. Justice Strike. I could protect that. I could actually just stop the Justice Strike, but I'm not going to. He's down to 3 cards. 3 cards in hand. Back to 4. Like, just fighting over Branchwalkers just didn't seem right. Come on, blue source. Oh, come on. Well, slow and steady wins the race. Maybe. So I'm actually going to go ahead and let it target, resolve that trigger, then try to dive down my Thorn Lieutenant. This feels like we're just going to get Deafening Clarion now, which is horrible. Like just any other blue source and we would have been able to stop what's happening, but unfortunately I can't. There's just nothing I can do about it. And after seeing this seal away, I'm pretty sure that anything that I would have done. Lyra Dawnbringer. Right, Lyra. Can you block this? Can't block that. I had to play the land main phase. I'll put that on top. I'll put it on top again. So Lyra does pose a threat. Because this is definitely a clock that we got to worry about. We might be able to outrun this, though. We've got a Herald coming up. Being choked on blue mana is just horrible, so... Alright, I'm just swinging with everything here. Is this to settle the wreckage? Alright, we'll try to negate it. Negate happens. Alright. Well. What's up, Barry? Everybody was asking about you earlier. Did you have your swing dance, or when is the swing dance? So... nothing I could do about it. It just happened. Couldn't stop the Deafening Clarion. just more blue mana, and I think we would have been such a better position because we would have been able to get the Curious Obsession down, start drawing cards. Would have been pretty sweet. Would have been pretty sweet. Hey, where the heck have you been? So now we're definitely in trouble. Lyra just too good. Yeah. Nope. Can't pay for the ability. Opponent's got 2 cards in hand. Lyra's coming through. Thorn Lieutenant. Well, here we go. Not a lot we can do now. I think I want to save the blue mana, but at this point, we'll just take the +1/1 counter. I mean, the opponent's back to 20 life, and if he's got a way to deal with our flyer, then we're just done. Yep. Oh, look. Blue land. Alright, so we block. Opponent goes back to 21. And Curious Obsession. Might as well swing with both. Draw some cards. Yes. 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 Well, GG. We'll play the Pelt Collector. Play Herald of Secret Streams. GG. No, there's no Rabbit Bite right now. Like, there was Rabbit Bites are in the sideboard, so you know. Can we kill Ira? Probably not. We doing it, boys, right? Simic counters. Okay, well, I guess if we... Ow, hold on a minute. Catching my knee. What's them auras that lock down creatures in blue? Like Water Knot or something, right? Well... Oh no, we don't want list view. Card view. No. Pile view. Pile view. There we go. You're right. And that was one of the cards things that we talked about when we looked over this deck, that there was just no removal. It looks like he went back and he Madness added Rabbit Bite to the deck, but he has been a little negative, but he's right. There's no creature that pairs up with Lyra or anything like that. You just don't have any real removal. And when you add cards like Rabbit Bite, you got to think about, like, what are you going to be like biting? Like, what creature is going to be biting their creature? And we really just don't have anything that's big enough to bite for any serious damage. So I would definitely look into just a different piece of removal. Maybe we just don't have it, or another way to make the deck a little bit faster, or to gain enough life to buy more time. The first thing I would probably look into is Thorn Lieutenant becoming Wild Growth Walker. I don't think it's that far out of the question. I think that Wild Growth Walker would fit in the deck with the Merfolk Branch Walkers, the Jade Light Rangers, things of that nature. You've got the Path to Discovery in the sideboard and stuff like that. So, you know, Wild Growth Walker can grow to a huge size very quickly. You can even have him to the point where if you turn 3 a Jade Light Ranger, he gets 2+1/1 counters, and then when you turn 4 a Hadana's Climb, he gets his third +1/1 counter and flips your climb on turn 4, which is fairly decent. So like he fits really well, and I don't really think that Thorn Lieutenant fits in the deck. However, Thorn Lieutenant was one of the better cards we had right there. So you know, in another world, maybe Thorn Lieutenant is really good. But I think for the overall like +1/1 counters thing, I think Wild Growth Walker would fit better. So, Crushing Canopy, right? Crushing Canopy would probably be better than Naturalize. When we were talking about Naturalize earlier, you know, there's not a ton of artifacts we really want to be killing. Vivian Reed would be great in the sideboard if you had access to Vivian Reed. I know she's like 20 bucks a piece though, so Vivian's kind of hard for a lot of people to come up with. But yeah, maybe just Crushing Canopy over the Naturalize in the sideboard to give you a little bit more play in that area. Maybe I just sideboarded wrong there as well. You know, maybe I should have brought in the Essence Scatters against that deck, and maybe tried to stop Lyra from coming down. I mean, unfortunately, I was trying to play around so many cards with the Curious Obsessions and such that we just never got our card advantage going. So, yeah, Vivian is like the #1 Planeswalker in green right now over the Voraskas. Most people are just playing Vivian into Carnage Tyrant, calling it a day. Use Vivian to help find the Carnage Tyrant. Turn 4 a Vivian, and turn 5 a Carnage Tyrant seems pretty good. So, yeah. Oh, it was fun. I was really like racking my brain trying to see if we had an out, if there was a way that we could. I didn't keep Carnage Tyrant out of that match. I brought Carnage Tyrant in. Could have sworn I brought Carnage Tyrant in that match. So we can give Yargle +1/+1 in flying. It seems fun. Yargle needs to fly. Oh, Yargle. Anyway, after playing it, I think Thorn Lieutenant should be Wild Growth Walker. But other than that, well, we didn't see it. No, we did not see it. So, but then again, you know, sometimes cards do that. They hide in the bottom of the deck. So, maybe I should have mulliganed to lands and Carnage Tyrant, but I don't think we get there either. So, anyway, that was our Simic Counters deck. If you guys like the deck, you can check it out over on manatraders. The link's in the description box below if you guys want to go rent that deck and try it out, play it, see what you think. We do have a Sultai deck, though. You wanted to play some Sultai. We've got a Sultai deck. It's got a Muldrotha here. No Yargle here, but we've got Path to Discovery, so we could give +1/1 counters. Journey to Eternity to be able to get things out of the graveyard. So Path to Discovery to put things in the graveyard, Journey to get things out of the graveyard. Path to Discovery also means that every time we get a desecrated Tomb Bat, so when we get one of our little Tomb Bats, we can you know, do some cool stuff there. Getting Explore triggers with Wild Growth Walker means that you know, we gain a lot of life. We do some crazy stuff there. If we mill Narcomoebas with our Stitcher Supplier or our Grow Spore Shamans, then we can, you know, get those Narcomoebas back to the from the graveyard to the battlefield immediately, triggering the tomb, which could also trigger, you know, our Path to Discovery. Getting multiple Paths to Discovery, getting multiple Desecrated Tombs down, and then just letting the deck do its thing is exactly what this deck wants to do. We can play creatures back from the graveyard with Muldrotha. We can get creatures back from the graveyard with Fine Finale. We get creatures back from the graveyard to our hand with Mending of Dominaria. I am a little bit worried about this deck being a little slow, as the deck doesn't really have any removal. I mean, we can get, Plague Crafter after Plague Crafter, just playing multiples of these. But really, if we just don't get our Desecrated Tomb down, we're not going to be playing enough creatures or making enough things happen that, we're going to... We basically just need to get this down, keep this around, get enough bats to get into the late game. At the later end of the game we get, the more powerful our effects will become, and the more likely we are to win. So that's kind of the plan. Now, this is a 62 card main board, 25 lands, but hey, that's the list I was given. It's the list you guys voted on. We got Cruel Harpooner, more Plague Crafter in the sideboard, is our AF. To bring more creatures back from the graveyard. We got Recollect, return target card from our graveyard to our hand. Golgari Raiders, this is 2 decks in a row we've seen Golgari Raiders in, so we even seen this in Brad Nelson's Golgari list this weekend at the Pro Tour, or last weekend at the Pro Tour. Vraska Golgari Queen, Vivian Reed, and Vivid Revival return up to 3 target and multicolor cards from our graveyard to our hand. Exile this card. We've got the Vivian Reeds, Vraska Relic Seeker, and Carnage Tyrant. So a lot of power here in the sideboard. So I mean, I guess we just change our top end based on what we're playing against, and then like main board, our top end is just some Muldrathas and Multani. So Multini. Nobody plays Untamed Kabu. I like Untamed Kabu. I actually think that card's not bad. Alright, let's jump into some gameplay and see what happens. See if we can make 1,000,000 bats. Nelson's idea of Raider was a combo with Doom. Right. Oh man, we can't keep this as much as I want to. I have to mulligan. Oh, goodness. I am going to keep for the Desecrated Tomb and just pray that all the things I draw are going to be answers. We'll put that on the bottom of our library. We do not want that. Alright, I'm going to start out with a Memorial to Genius because I can't force that in untap. Alright, well, here we go. Against a Grixis list. Okay. Hopefully Evolve is the returning mechanic. Maybe. Alright, so we're definitely going to take this opportunity to get our Desecrated down. He's going to discard something here with Sarkhan, it seems. Maybe, maybe not. Land. Alright, well, there's a Muldrotha. Let's just go Woodland Cemetery and play our Desecrated Tomb and pass the turn. Not getting a lot out of this, so... This deck smells like guano? You guys are being mean. Jeez, I mean, like... At least be constructive. If you don't like the deck, then at least give some advice on how you could make it smell less like guano, I guess. Instead of just saying... Presenting problems can be done by anyone. Problems with solutions. That's the real challenge. Considering Pelt Collector, you don't think Evolve is the mechanic? Right, like Pelt Collector's kind of Evolve. Man, he's about to nib us so hard. We're going to get nibbed right in the biscuits. Bunch of haters. What's up, Justin? Well, I always feared the day that chat went toxic. Chat's always toxic. Like if you go watch like half of the big streamers and stuff, like their chat is so toxic. Twitch chat is so toxic. Our chat has not become toxic yet, but The day's coming. It's coming. Let me be punny. Well, discard Muldrotha. What? I'm just gonna get it back and get me a bat. Toxic chat means you're becoming a real streamer. Well, okay. If that's what that means. Ooh, Path of Discovery. I want that card down. I want that down before I try to play this Mending of Dominaria. I mean, I may have just messed up by waiting this long. But I really want this Path of Discovery down, and then I start making bats, and then we'll start making more bats, and then it'll be good. It'll work. It'll work. Yeah, might as well put Path down now, right? I mean, we're only taking 4 here, but we're not long till Nicol Bolas is going to do some mean stuff. And the opponent's just churning through his deck over here with the Sarkin. I mean, what's the worst card in my hand? Yeah, let's throw that away. Yeah, we'll get another one. Yeah. So. Spabasco had some toxic chat. When's Doggo Tribal going to be a thing? Come on, Wizards. Doggo Tribal. I don't even know what doggos are. Alright, so let's go for it. Mending? Maybe? Possibly? Hopefully? I pray. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's gonna flip this Bolas. Okay, what do we want back? Ooh, Wildgrowth Walker. Yeah, we'll say Wildgrowth Walker. Because then I can use, like, Fine Finale next turn. Alright, so we make a bat, but, like, I'm just 100% sure he can just kill this bat. So, we'll see. Wolf Tribal can be done. It can be done. There's a lot of wolf decks. Might have to add, like, some man wolves to it, but, you know. Or some woman wolves. Michael's Magic. Hopping over here from the House Gamers Airsoft stream. That won't load. House Gamers Airsoft stream that won't load. Let's Memorial and tapped. And we'll pass the turn. Now, if he uses removal spells on bats, I'm okay with that. I really hope he doesn't hit another land, though. If he goes to 7 mana, we're going to be in so much trouble here with this Nicol Bolas. Like, we may actually have the means to do this, but if he hits his extra land, which he's probably going to do because he just Chemistry's Insight, he's going to be able to get back our Muldrotha. Which alone might have been enough reason for me to not get back to Wildgrowth Walker and get back to Muldrotha instead. Picked a good backup plan. Well, hopefully. Hopefully it will be a good backup plan. Lee Hansen, what's up? Sarkin might be a bigger threat. Maybe. I can't pressure either of them right now, though. Sultai, Bat, Tribal. Now, I do want to point out that for the last 2 weeks, we went 3-0 with all three of our decks. Like, so 3-0, and then the next week 3-0 again. This is the first week in 3 weeks that we've actually had a deck to lose. So, might as well block. I mean, he flips it anyway, right? Just so flipping. To be fair, we faced a couple of jank decks last week. You're right. Because Grixis Sarkin's Dragons is not... Because that's tier 1. Even your Scape Shift Meal deck almost won. No jank decks. What the hell do y'all call what we're playing right now? Y'all don't call this jank? I'll put that in the graveyard for now. We'll go land... Green, green. We're going to put that into the graveyard. We'll get a trigger. I'm going to cast Find. We're going to get back these two guys. We'll go black. Green. We'll make another bat. If these bats had Death Touch, oh, it'd be so much better. We'll put that into the graveyard too, because that's another option on making a bat. Alright. Wildgrowth Walker. He'll enter the battlefield and he'll explore. Stitcher Supplier on top. It'll give us a chance at making some Narcomoebas. I mean, we're buying time, alright? Like, we're not just dead to dragons, but we're not doing great things either, so we'll see. Finale is probably a better play. What would Finale do? These are 5/5s, not 4/4s. So like casting Finale instead of Fine wouldn't have done anything except for kill our bats. I just really don't see how that would have been a better play, but oh, okay, you didn't understand they were 5/5s. That makes more sense. If you thought they were 4/4s, then it would have looked like a much better play. Gotcha. What do you call a group of bats? They're not crows, so it's not a murder. Is it a swarm? Or do bats swarm? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Dude, we got 3 shocks. 3 shocks out of that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Return all land cards and shuffle your graveyard into your library. Okay. So, Stitcher Supplier. Let's go look for a Narcomoeba. Mending to the graveyard. Mill 3 more. Find Finales in the graveyard. Golgari Finebrokers in the graveyard. Green, black, blue, colorless, green, blue. Muldrotha, Narcomoeba to the graveyard. It'll grow to the graveyard, create a bat, come back from the graveyard, or it'll go to the graveyard, come back from the graveyard, make a bat, it'll explore. Man, a Wild Growth Walker sticking around would have been so good. We'll leave that on top. That seems good. Now I'm going to go black, green. Glowspore Shaman, maybe? We've just got so many lands in hand. Yeah, let's just go Glowspore Shaman. Maybe we can, like, hit another Narcomoeba or something. Maybe we should just go to the graveyard with this. So maybe I should have went to the graveyard with it earlier. Because we can just play it with Muldrotha anyway. If Muldrotha survives. Hey, Dragon Lord! This is match 1, or this is game 1 with your deck here. We're trying to make things happen. I'm going to say no to putting a land, but we did hit another Narcomoeba. So that works for us. We'll put that into the graveyard. We hit another Narcomoeba, which we will also trigger. More land. I can't say that we're flooding because we're technically not. It's just we've explored a million times, and so this is just going to happen. Let's go tap land. Alright, what can we do? Swing 2? Get some, Boros. Get some. Well, that puts Boros at 4. So, I mean, if he brings a creature or planeswalker back from the graveyard, then Boros will die. But he could also just kill Muldrotha, and then he'd be in a pretty good spot. However, Boros would die. So it just really depends on what the other 6 cards in his hand are. Rush? Is Rush here? What you doing there, fella? Did you have a good honeymoon? We've missed you the past couple days, Rush. We have. The opponent said GG. He said GG. We won that. All right? We won that game. Wow. I thought he was still ahead. Apparently he thought we were ahead. I'm going to bring in Plague Crafter because I think Plague Crafter is going to be pretty sweet. I don't want World Shaper. Narcomoeba was awesome. Jeez, just hitting the Narcomoebas was just so good. Vivian Reed to kill these flyers would be great. Vraska's probably going to be great. Carnage Tyrant's probably going to be great. I'll take out Muldrotha. Maybe not Muldrotha. Oh, man. Take out maybe Gaia's Blessing. Journey to Eternity. I'm too worried about getting like 2 for 1 with all of his with all like Grixis base removal. I think Path to Discovery is good as long as we're leaving in Wildgrowth Walker. Maybe we cut 1 Path, 1 Stitcher Supplier. Oh wait, it was a 62 card deck, so we get to keep the Path. Do I want Cruel Harpooners? Maybe I do. Maybe I want them over Glowspore Shaman. Yeah, I think I want those over Glowspore Shaman. And then, I mean, yeah, Multani's got reach, but I really want this. I really want to keep Path of Discovery in this deck. I think this deck really wants to hit Path of Discovery. But what do we take out for Path of Discovery? A Branch Walker? Another Glowspore Shaman? I think Glowspore Shaman's better than Branch Walker in this deck. Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'd rather take out Branch Walker. Even though we've got Wildgrowth Walker, but, you know, yeah. Best decision ever. Well, awesome, dude. I hope you had a great honeymoon, and I wish you the best of luck throughout your marriage. There will be good times. There will be bad times. Learning to compromise will take forever. You'll work on it for as long as you're married. As far as I know, I've only been married 10 years, though. So, I've got a little bit of practice, but not much. I'm working on it, though. I figure if I just stay at it for another 20 to 40 years, I'll figure this thing out. But probably not. So, yes, we're playing a 62 card deck. I'm going to keep the hand. I'm going to keep it. I've seen worse hands. I mean, we've got a Mending. So, as he's removing things, we might be able to get him back and stuff. So, yeah. Yeah. Justin Clay's like, nope. Another 20 to 40 years, you still won't have it figured out, sir. You're probably right, Justin. You're probably right. Dragon Lord's like, but I want to do everything. I need all these cards. I want to do all the things. Turn off auto yields. I want to play Glowspore Shaman. Just a really good threat. I mean, if he's got shock, then fine. Do I want this land? Do I want to like guarantee my 4th land? Probably. Yeah. I'm okay with drawing this land off the top. I mean, we did put a Vivian Reed and a Crawl Harpooner in the graveyard, which is... You need to make your own version of this. Well, I'll say this, Dragon Lord. Even if we don't win, you've got everyone going, what the hell? Because everyone thought we were dead, right? There was a Sarkhan's Unsealing thing going on there, and everybody's like, oh, man, you're just going to die to a bunch of dragons. And we're like, whatever. Whatever. We ain't worried about your damn dragons. Get on out here with that dragon-ass shit. Sorry. Let's cancel that. Let's go ahead and swing. See if he's got some removal. Make him take a little damage. Now we'll play our Wildgrowth Walker. You know it's good when you made Zaxzilla want to play with creatures. He's like, wait a minute. Creatures? That's worse than sorceries, man. You're divorced. 31. At your age, it's either ugly girls, fat girls, or chicks with 3 baby daddies already. Man. I think you need to change where you're looking for girls. But yeah, I get what you're saying. Like, at our age, people have divorces, people have baggage, people have kids, people have bad eating decisions. I'm going to go ahead and play Plague Crafter. And we'll make our opponent discard a card. Stop looking for chicks at Walmart. That's messed up. I'm gonna get rid of Glowspore Shaman. This is messed up, Kenneth. This is so messed up. Oh, chat. You got a real sweet girlfriend. Must have found her in the parking lot instead of inside the store. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Now who's toxic? Look what you have done to me, chat. Look what you have done to me. Well, let's go ahead. We'll get in for a little bit of damage. I mean, what's our opponent going to play here? Like, can we get away with dropping this? No way. No way this resolves, right? Like, this doesn't resolve. This gets countered all day. Right? That's what I thought. I didn't expect that to resolve. Commander and Stardew all night? Seems like you got a great girlfriend. You should probably hang on to that one. Start practicing that compromise thing now. So, you're waiting on marriage to find a girlfriend? Can't be too careful. It's messed up. It's so messed up. Zaxdillo says he's waiting on marriage to find a girlfriend. You can't be too careful. Okay, well, I'm going to play Narcomoeba. I mean, he could have played a lot of things. Let's play Crafter. Like, I assume he doesn't wipe the board. He might. And if he does, then I've played into it too much. Like, something tells me to, like, just hang on to this Plague Crafter till he finally plays a creature, but I'm going to go for it. I think he's just got a handful of, like, control spells and things like that. And technically, we put lethal on the board here. We probably could have gotten some action out of him. But now we've put this, like, pressure on him where it's like, okay, if the last 3 cards in your hand are cards that you really need to be able to get back into this game, and you wanted to use some of them now, if you use any of them now, like if you use a shock right now, if our opponent uses a shock or a lightning strike or something like that. Oh, wow, he's tapping out a bunch. Explosion. Okay, so he explosioned for 2, so he's going to draw 2 cards. And he got rid of our other Plague Crafter. This means this Plague Crafter will resolve. We'll sack Narcomoeba. And then he'll have to discard a card. Yeah, I tried to go for the little bit more aggressive plays here. Maybe I should have been a little bit more, like, on the back foot, a little bit more protective. because, you know, now come like a Niv Mizzet or something like that. Although, Star of Extinction, what is this craziness? Alright, there's a Harpooner. I want to play the Harpooner out. I mean, if he's starring our other dudes, then here's a 3-2. Kill it. No legal targets. I mean, Star of Extinction. Oh, son of a... Oh, hey look, Narcomoeba was useful for something. Psh, Narcomoeba was really useful in the last one. Yeah, we'll use his ability. He's a 9-2 until end of turn. And if we had haste, it would have been awesome. Check out the Izzet deck, Poopy Fatty, posted on the Reddit today. Oh man, there we go. Let's go ahead and try to get in for some damage. We'll see what spells our opponent has to play. I am going to play this. We're going to cast Fine. I'm going to get back Plague Crafter. Plague Crafter. Oh, he's going to negate it. Alright, well, what is your last card, opponent? You have to be able to deal with this Crawl Harpooner. Yeah, Plague Crafter was going to be great. Think your next janky deck might be a True Fire Star deck? Hey, guess what? We won the video game. Look at that. You're going to send me the Commander deck? You forgot to send it before you went on your honeymoon? Awesome, awesome. Is that your deck for this month? You want the Commander deck played? You wonder how well Enrage would work with a True Fire Star deck? Man, I don't know. You'd have to play around with the idea there. But, I mean, there's a lot of really good Enraged creatures. Just, does any of them really work with, you know, what you're trying to do? So, perfect. Well, I will do my best to play it. When we do go to the play lobby, though, let's see how many people are playing Commander right now. Formats. Commander 1v1 and Commander. So there is people waiting for Commander 1v1. So I would be able to get into some Commander 1v1 possibly. 4-player Commander, probably out of the question. Other than that, like people playing Pauper. There are people playing Pauper. Brawl? No Brawl games. Nobody's wanting to play Brawl. So yeah. We'll send that to me, Rush, and we'll get that game out for you, buddy. I won't be doing it this week though, because you know it's Thanksgiving. I'm gonna be gone this week, so we won the video game. Yeah, it's gonna be my thing. I used to watch this other dude say that a lot, and I always thought it was funnier than heck. So I might say it. Anyway, we won the video game. Let's move on to our, let's talk about this BatCombo deck for a minute. The deck's pretty sweet, okay? Like, I can't believe that we just won. Look, now it's a 60 card deck. And I don't even feel bad about that. I don't think Gaia's Blessings like just 100% necessary. So I don't know. I mean, that would be my first thing, is I would want to trim it down to a 60 card deck. World Shaper's not like the greatest thing in the world, but when it dies, you do put all land cards from your graveyard onto the battlefield, so that's not horrible. I just don't think you even need World Shaper though. Narcomoeba, like, this is the deck for Narcomoeba, because like that's exactly what you're wanting to do. You want to hit a Desecrated Tomb. I personally think you probably want 4 copies of Desecrated Tomb though, because like games with it are going to be so much better than games without it. So yeah. Oh yeah, Brawl, that it was a format everyone wanted, everybody loved it. It was fun, and then Arena came out. Arena didn't have the coding to support commanders, So, you know, they just didn't do the Brawl thing on Arena, and then they came out with the Singleton series on Arena. So, Brawl kind of got, like, just selected and put into the Singleton thing, and that kind of bad. I mean, it stuck around as a real format long enough to get its first ban list, where Brawl was the first creature banned in Brawl. That was fitting, right? A little bit of irony, but whatever. Blessing is really good. Blessing is really good. Would no World Shaper first. Well, I definitely would get rid of the World Shaper. Blessing. So what are we going to do with Blessing? Like, just use it to trigger the Desecrated Tomb? Alright, so target player shuffles up to 3 cards from their graveyard into their library. So you shuffle back in your Narcomoebas, so you can hit them again, draw a card. When this is put in the graveyard from your library, shuffle your graveyard into your library, which would trigger Desecrated Tomb. Sure. Okay. More Plague Crafters. Well, they're Plague Crafters. There's additional Plague Crafters in the sideboard. I like those. I also like the Vivid Revivals and things like that. Recollect, whatever. I like the Crawl Harpooners. I really like where this deck's going. Don't think the deck needs Multani. I think the deck would fit like just perfectly fine without Multani and just have an extra like Muldrotha or something. Because I think Muldrotha is probably so good in the Desecrated Tomb deck, it's ridiculous. You can play the Desecrated Tomb with as an artifact, then play a creature like a Stitcher Supplier, and then possibly mill out Narcomoebas and stuff like that. Your Mending of Dominaria puts everything back in the graveyard, or from the graveyard back into the battle. Like, it seems good. Rather play Tiny Leaders. Man, that was a format that never really took off, was it? I like Tiny Leaders. I built a couple Tiny Leaders decks. Had my Geist of Saint Traff. That's right. Geist of Saint Traff, Tiny Leader. Yep, that was a good one. That was a good one. Anyway, I like the deck. Dragon Lord, great job, man. We were able to beat that Grixis deck, which was pretty sweet. I know he was pissed, so that was good. That was great. Let's move on to Kdog's Path of Mettle deck. I am going to kind of keep this moving on along because, like I said, guys, we're going to take a quick break after this stream, and we're going to get into Deb's Mono Black Aggro. I'm going to have to pull the cards for that, but it won't take very long. So we do have Deb's Mono Black Aggro coming up later. If you guys want to check that out, he will have, Deb's already got the deck tech up for that, so when we go down for our break, if you guys want to check out the deck tech, you can go do that. But for right now, we're going to play Kdog's Boros Path to Mettle. Mono Boros. It's not a Mono Boros deck. Mono White Boros deck, right? But yeah. Absolutely, Dragon Lord. I thought your deck was a ton of fun. So, all right. So this deck is about Path to Mettle. We talked about this one a little bit the other day, and it got a lot of votes. You guys seem to like the deck. It's pretty straightforward. We want creatures that have First Strike, Double Strike, Vigilance, or Haste, because when we swing with 2 of those, we will flip Path to Mettle. And when we get a flip Path to Mettle, we're going to be doing some pretty good stuff. Alright, so when we look at creatures that have keywords First Strike, Double Strike, Vigilance, or Haste, we've got Fanatical Firebrand, got Haste, enters the battlefield, good early creature, can swing, can do additional damage, can do a little pinging, can even pick up a +1/+1 counter from like Legion War Boss or something like that. We've got Rigging Runner. In this deck, rarer than some of the other decks, Rigging Runner is a little bit better, because if you do have to play that turn 1 Rigging Runner, and you're like, oh man, I really wish I could have gotten the value, gotten the +1/+1 counter for it, something like that. It doesn't matter, because there's enough Mentor in the deck that you can actually pick up that +1/+1 counter later down the road, so you don't even have to worry about, like making greedy plays but not maximizing the use of your mana. it's not even a problem here because we're just going to, you know, play a mentor creature, whether, you know, it's the Stalwart or, you know, Tajik or Legion War Boss. It's not going to matter. We're going to be fine. We've got Aurelia mentor. So, I mean, we've got a nice mentor theme going on here. We've got a ton of first strike creatures. First strike's going to be great here. So, I kind of like everything this deck's got going on. Path of Mettle also deals 1 damage to each creature that doesn't have those keywords. So that, just keep that in mind. We've kind of got our own little like Goblin Chain Whirler effect here. So this deck should like destroy the mono white mirror. So you told them they should check out Eric's YouTube and Reddit. What? You got any idea from playing against a version of it, and the original creator of the deck posted their list in the comments on Reddit. Oh, nice. Awesome. Well, I'll have to go back and see what their original list is. But anyway, heroic reinforcements, we get a lot more creatures. We can go ahead and, you know, like get that +1/+1 on all of our creatures. They're going to gain haste, which is really, really good. I personally like Aurelia in these decks. This is kind of a combination between, you know, using Mentor and First Strike and stuff like that. I really wish there would have been like one Windy in the deck. I think that would have been really cool if Windy would have showed up. Just because of all the First Strike, we could have had a ton of double strike creatures and stuff. But you know, that's kind of living on the edge, being a little bit, you know, going a little too far out there. So, you know, I like the fact that he's kept everything reined in. We're pretty straightforward, which makes me think this deck's going to have a lot of consistency to it. When we do look at the land base, we've got, what, 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 red sources. So that should be fine. We should be perfectly fine here. So, yeah. Giving your opponent an extra land's pretty terrible in the standard meta. It can be. Yes, it can be. By turn 2, you had wasted a turn casting. You know what? I lost you guys. Alright, so built with Windy quite a bit before, but wanted something decent here. Oh man. Oh, them's cutting words right there, buddy. Think outside of the standard. Think outside of standard trophy is nuts. I think you're right. Just because there's not a lot of basics floating around and stuff, but in standard, ton of basics. Maybe next set, when we don't have near as many basics being played and more people are playing 3-color decks and stuff like that. Because I think 3-color decks are going to be the way to go next set. Because we're just going to have so much to build with. So, DG! We're coming, DG. DG! That's my... Jareth says, that's my opinion, though, not facts. Those are not facts, people. Those are just opinions. Not the most aggressive hand in the world. I cannot pass up a hand that's got History of Anaya, Legion War Boss, Rigging Runner, all that good stuff. Even if we're turn twoing a Rigging Runner, I'm okay with that. Uh-oh. Pirates. That's a pirate. Give me a red source right off the top. Give me this mountain. That is not a mountain. You know what? I'm playing Clifftop Retreat in hopes of a mountain off the top. No point in playing that plains anyway. This will at least give me the option to go Rigging Runner, if we happen to hit mountain off the top. We will see. Turn the music up a little bit. This could be Namir Thieves. It could be. It could be. You never know. Well, we're just going to slam a Rigging Runner and pass the turn. Jun could probably run it if you were tribal, because you could use this thing. Let's go ahead and get in for combat. A little bit of combat damage here. It's not a lot. I'm going to just try to slam this History of Anaya. Probably bad, but we're going to do it anyway. Whoa! It resolved! We made a knight! Yay, us. How did the other decks do? The first deck we lost with, the second deck we won with. Turns out the BatCombo deck's pretty sweet. We just started like just churning off, making bats and bats and bats, and we just had this one really powerful turn, and our opponent just scooped it up. Even though he probably still had us beat, he just had to keep turning these 5/5 sideways. But we were just making such aggressive plays, or so much value in one single turn that it was kind of getting out of hand for the opponents here. I need more red mana. Alright, so Legion War Boss. We'll make it, dude. We're gonna swing. I mean, we're just now actually pressuring the opponent's life total. But at this point, we're putting a lot more pressure on than we had been. Okay, opponent's got all the things. There's a Grixis. Grixis mana. He is Grixis Pirates. You need to stop wanting to jam Radiant Destiny into literally every tribal deck. Yeah, well, I mean, Radiant Destiny's cool, but, you know. You picture all of chat on their feet getting their boogie on whenever this song plays. Cool. Barry, did you ever answer when the dance was? I missed it if you did, sir. Conclave Tribunal. I don't think there's a reason for that right now. So, I will trade my Legion War Boss for both of these guys. And I'm just going to give it to my first striker. Okay. Well, that works really nicely. I'm pretty happy about that. Siren's Ruse. He's going to bounce one. Take a bunch of damage. Lose the Siren Storm Tamer. I'm going to play a Rigging Runner. I mean, we get the +1/+1 counter on it already. So, it's just another threat. It hasn't happened yet. You'll try to play it after class tomorrow. If not, it will be future Saturday night. Try to make it soon. Hey, you do what you got to do, man. Like, just take your time. We were just curious to see what it would be like to see someone swing dancing. Jareth was asking about it when he came in, so. Hostage taker. Alright, well, I mean, you get a Legion War Boss. Play our Legion War Boss, lose your treasure. Okay. Make a dude that we'll eat. We'll just eat that dude. The dude's getting eaten. It's gonna gobble him up. Gobble, gobble. Nom, nom, nom. Oh, that's right. He has to attack, dude. Gobble, gobble. Put our first striker in front of this guy. So, now we got these fanatical firebrands that have just been doing work. Yeah, that's a good card, too. Oh, that's a great card. That's a great card. I'm just going to play this fanatical firebrand because, like, this is all we need. I'm willing to lose one of these guys. Like, so if he puts blockers in front of this, then we're fine. Blocker. Right? Think about your damage here, opponent. Think about your damage. We got 8 damage coming at him. We have the extra point of damage just laying there on the battlefield. Seems good to me. I mean, he can sack this Iron Storm Tamer to save his life. Sacks Iron Storm Tamer. There you go. You still got an out. Good for you, buddy. Good for you. Gives Trample if it's red. Gives Vigilance if it's white. I also could have cast like Conclave Tribunal last turn. Like to get something, like if I wanted to just get rid of the Legion War Boss or something. But right now the opponent's kind of got to be looking around going, what the hell do I do here? And we really don't care. Like, he can do whatever he wants as long as he doesn't gain life. Forebear's Blade. Alright, so this is not the Pirate's Cutlass, this is Forebear's Blade. Equipped creature gets +3/+0 and has Vigilance and Trample. Whenever equipped creature dies, attach Forebear's Blade to target creature you control. He played his Forebear's Blade and scooped it up all the way to the lobby. Just didn't want to play anymore. No, I said no more, Jund Unsealing or Naya Unsealing. I'm going to play that Unsealing deck that I've gotten built, but like, geez, you guys have just been flooding me with Unsealing decks, and they've all done the same thing. Like, I don't know any other nice way to keep saying this is a bad deck. Like, Unsealing's hard to play with. You're taking turn 4 off to drop this if you're playing it on curve, and if you're not playing it on curve, then you're taking some other turn off. And then the nature of Unsealing is you have to play such big dudes to trigger it that you're only playing 1 card per turn, and you need to be in a situation where getting away with playing 1 spell per turn, whether that spell doesn't resolve or not, like whether it resolves or not, can't be relative. Like, as long as that Sarkhan's Unsealing trigger can get you through the game, then that's fine. Because there's a lot of situations where they're just gonna, like, against mono blue, you're gonna have to fight just to get the Sarkhan's Unsealing down, and then much less resolve anything else other than like Carnage Tyrant. But you know, see, I think playing Frenzy in those situations would be even worse, because like with Frenzy, you want just as many cheap creatures as you can possibly get, and with Frenzy, like in place of Unsealing in those decks built in that construction, you're still only gonna you're gonna be like, oh look, there's a 7/6 Carnage Tyrant. Alright, well, let me pay 6 mana and cast this Carnage Tyrant. Okay, well, I can't cast this next card here that's 4 or 5 mana, so... yeah, it's just brutal. It's just brutal. So... I think everything's going to be better when we get, like, you know, the Gruul and Rakdos lands, though, so... we've got to play this deck again. That just wasn't enough for my satisfaction. Alright, so I'm going to play this one more time. The opponent's scooping on us in game 1. That's just unsatisfying. Banefire is a good reason to splash red. But I don't know about, like, to just play red. Jank, don't you tell me what to do! Well, it's not the worst hand in the world. It's not the most aggressive, but I kind of like the hand. Gets his Legion Warboss down, and then, like, follow up with Tajik. Like, heaven forbid we hit something else, so... Like, we hit a threat that can be played turn 1 or 2. This would be good. That ain't gonna do it, but we'll see. Jund has plenty of removal. It does! The problem with Jund is that most of the good spells you want to cast are all like double black for 4 mana. And then you want to be casting like this double green turn 3 spell or triple green turn 3 spell. And then you want to be playing, you know, this other spell that's like double red on 4. So you need 16 red sources, 16 black sources, then you need like 18 green sources. It's nigh impossible. This ain't bad. This ain't bad. Where has For the Horde been, ladies and gentlemen? Anticipate from the opponent. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. Ladies and gentlemen, we are playing against a 1,000-Year Storm deck. That's what Anticipate tells me we're playing against. So I'm gonna go based on the idea that we've got Sulfur Falls, opt Anticipate that we're playing a 1,000-Year Storm. So, yeah. I'm going to go Legion Warboss here. Just because I can get more board presence on the battlefield. So we get a 2/2 Goblin, so we swing for 4 here. Could have swung for 5 if I'd have played Tajik instead. But we go a little bit wider here. Now, depending on like what version of the deck he is, he may have pirates, like the Fiery Cannonade, stuff like that. And if he does, then okay. Then we're just blown out to a Fiery Cannonade. If he doesn't, Tajik's gonna do work. Divination, drawing cards. Okay. This all seems wonderful. think it's, is it Drake's? Nobody wants to play with us. We in business next turn. Alright, so next turn we were looking at... I think I would have put the +1 counter on Legion Warboss. Like, out of all things I would want to keep, I think I would want the Legion Warboss to stick around. So I'd put the +1 counter on Legion Warboss. So Tajik would have put a counter on Warboss. Warboss would have swung for 3. We would have had 2 here, so 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We were swinging for 12 next turn. Yeah. Nobody wants to play with Kenneth, man. It just can't. Alright, so let's assume that it might be a Drake's deck. Well, I definitely want to bring in my Direfleet Daredevils. I definitely want to bring in Lava Coil. If it's a Drake's deck, right? Other than that, like, Fight with Fire is good, but I don't know. I'm not a fan of Heroic Reinforcements here. Don't think we have to have it. I'm going to bring in Ixalan's Binding over a Conclave Tribunal. And then I'm just going to cut a couple, like, early creatures because we're on the draw. And I think I'm going to go with 2 Rigging Runners here. And I'm just going to run it back. I'm just going to go like that. Maybe Bounty Agent. Maybe. But only against, like, Niv Mizzet. If I knew there was Niv Mizzet going into the deck. There's probably Niv Mizzet in his deck. But, you know. I still think it's 1,000-Year Storm deck from what I've seen. But, I don't know. Anticipate's a great card. Like, I could see people playing it in something else. So, well, this is not horrible. This is not horrible at all. We're going to flip a Path of Mettle here on turn 3. Assuming he doesn't kill our Fanatical Firebrand. It's going to cost a little bit of life, but I'm going to do it anyway. Opt from the opponent. He doesn't even pretend that he ain't got anything else. Right, we might get to see a Path Flip. So, I mean, we get a turn 3 Path Flip here. That's not bad. Which makes me like Warboss even more. Man. Yeah. I lose a point of damage here if I play the Rigging Runner. So I'm going to go with Fanatical Firebrand. Just to get that extra 1 point of damage out there. I mean, I could play Rigging Runner here instead. But because Path of Mettle is going to be the play for next turn. And then Legion Warboss is going to be the play for the turn following that. And if he can't answer Legion Warboss, then the opponent's probably going to be done for here. Does the token have haste, or is it just tapped and attacking? No, it enters the beginning of combat with haste. Right? Isn't that good? That's just good deck building right there. So, yeah. It would be different if it entered the battlefield tapped and attacking, but it doesn't. It enters the battlefield. That token gains haste until end of turn and attacks this combat if able. Now, it's not like, it doesn't say, you know, all of your goblins have to attack each combat, but no, it does have to attack, you know, this combat. Well, as much as I want to be playing History of Anaya on 3, I'm still not going to be doing that either. Let's go ahead and get this Path of Mettle down. No point in waiting. He's tapped out, so I mean, we can do this first main phase, second main phase. This doesn't matter. Because this little dude's got haste, he will not take damage from the Path of Mettle. Oh, we've got a reader. We've got a reader. Come on, opponent. Let me swing. Let me swing. Let me swing. Alright, here we go. Right, we just don't even need history yet. We just don't even need it. I'm actually more interested in flipping this third land, or this fourth land, just so I can start like playing Aurelia and stuff. But all right, so I'm gonna go for it. He might have a counter. We're gonna go for it. Is he reading? Oh snap! He's gonna let us make a goblin. We're gonna make a little goblin. He's gonna have haste. Heaven forbid he's got to actually use removal on the goblin. I mean, he could just have like a fire cannonade here, but that wouldn't stop our fanatical firebrand. So, oh, we don't care. The damage has been done. We flipping. We flipping. Come on. Come on, opponent. Turn off those auto yields. I don't want to skip nothing. Accidentally click concede game. You're going to go get some sleep. Good luck, Eric, and good night all. Dragon Lord, thanks for your deck. Thanks for posting awesome stuff. And whatever. We got another lightning strike out of our opponent here, though. He is so playing 1,000-Year Storm deck. Yeah, this is a 1,000-Year Storm deck. I know it is. Shocks, lightning strikes, discovery dispersal, op. It looks just like saffron olives. I asked the opponent. I said, "This is a 1,000-Year Storm deck, isn't it?" He said, "Trying to be." He said he's getting some crazy bad lag. Told the opponent I hated lag. Lag's mean. Nobody likes lag. Yes, he struck a firebrand, killing a 1/1 with a 3 damage spell. Just feels, yes. Like all the things he's doing, we're happy about most of it. Better than allowing the flip on path? Yeah. Yeah. I'll agree. Allowing the flip on path would be really bad. Which makes me think he's got Fire Cannonade though. He had to strike the goblin because it's a pirate and Fire Cannonade wouldn't have done anything, so. Green Blue Nexus Insight deck. Green Blue Nexus Insight. Alright. I'm going to play a couple pirates. We'll get in for one. I say a couple pirates. I'm going to play one pirate. And now that we've swung, we can get our extra counter off of our rigging runner. Yeah, but as soon as he hit, like, if he just gets to live till turn 7 and hit all of his lands, then, like, he just wins. I've been playing around with the Storm deck for the past night or two, and it's, the deck just wins. Like, if you untap with the Storm, you're probably going to win. If you have any collection of jump back car, jump back, jump start, jump back. It's like flashback, jump start, but it's jump back. If you have flashback cards in your graveyard and stuff like it, you can just go ham. Alright, well, I am going to play this because this plays around Fiery Cannonade. If I didn't play this, it wouldn't play around Fiery Cannonade. If I played Aurelia, we would be pushing more damage technically, but this puts me 2 pirates on the battlefield that can continue to swing, and that's my plan here, is to just play around Fiery Cannonade. Mission briefing. Wow. Well, if he's mission briefing for a shock, then. Whew. Alright, well, here we go. Let's go ahead and get in for a little bit of damage. Technically, I could have played like maybe the land and Aurelia, since he's already done the mission briefing. So he's just going to... He did that in my main phase, so he bought me out of my punt. Alright, here we go. Let's give... Let's make the little dude big, shall we? Come on, it's just... Alright, we flipped our path of Mettle, and we're pushing some damage. Buyback goes back to hand. Yeah, so you can cast it and buy it back, cast it and buy it back. I used to make infinite mana and then capsize. Yeah, it was great. It was great. Capsize the board. That's how I play Commander. I hit infinite mana. Capsize. What? What's weak? Goblins is kind of weak at 1-drops. Well, goblins may be. Pirates. Pirate goblins are pretty good. I'm liking some pirate goblins. Capsize is brutal. Yeah. CT drops and opponent jumps back. Well, a 1-drop you don't actually want to play on turn 1. The jump back card right now is Carnage Tyrant. Alright, that makes sense. Alright, yeah, you drop a Carnage Tyrant and everybody's like, whoa, how the hell do I beat that? It's amazing I knew what this deck was from seeing Opt Anticipate, right? Out of all the decks that could be running Opt Anticipate, it's a good skill to work on, everyone. Like, no lie. Trying to identify what your opponent is on as quickly as possible is always very, very important. All right. Trying just knowing what you're playing against. It'll help you get your strategy online quicker. So there you go. Scooped it up. That's all there is to it. Yes, anticipate could and probably should be seeing more play. Personally, I think Radical Idea is in a really good spot right now for the strategies that people are wanting to play in spell-based decks. Just because most of the strategies require some type of storming off, even like the micro storm, strategies for the Arclight Phoenix deck, and the micro strategies for the Arclight Phoenix deck, the overall strategies for 1,000-Year Storm, like just casting multiple spells is the way to go, and I think Radical Idea is a lot better in most of those situations. Just because like you can play through your spells early, and then you can like use them when you need them later. I just think it's really good. But Anticipate is a great card, and I've used it in the past when it's been in Standard, and I wouldn't have a problem using it again. I don't think it's a bad card at all. I just think that we've got enough options right now in the 2-drop blue slot for card draw. What's up, Andrew? Andrew here in chat. This guy we were just playing with. Gentleman was having a little bit of lag, but he was trying to show us his 1,000-Year Storm deck, and unfortunately Kenneth's aggro deck was just a little bit too fast. There. Andrew, thank you for your gameplay, sir. I appreciate your gentleman-like conduct. Yes, Anticipate does fit really good into hard control, although I really like the idea of, I cast the first Radical Idea and I'm just cycling this card out. However, now every card I draw has cycling for 2. So we can always just like if you're running Radical Idea and you've cast the first one and now late game you top deck a land, you're like, you know what, pay 2 mana, I want to cycle this thing away. And you can't do that with Anticipate. Even though Anticipate will give you more dig early in the game and you can get further into it, being able to trade a bad card out for a good card with Radical Idea is normally just really good. So definitely open to better ideas. Well, sir, it looked like you were running really close to Saffron Olive's list with the Discovery Dispersals. Personally, I ended up taking those out of my version. I didn't like the black mana. But I'm going to be running a version of that deck later this week. It's Thanksgiving, so I'm just going to be posting those. They're not going to be live streams, but I don't back off of the mission briefings, Andrew. The card is magnifico, man. That's where you want to be. So you're just running it for Discovery, for the Discovery side of it. That makes sense. That makes perfect sense. And plus, once you get your treasures, if you want to dispersal, you can. So, no, we did. Yeah, our deck just overran you before you got a chance. Every card I seen in the deck, though, it looked like it was kind of like that's where everybody's going with it, with that version of the deck. I'm probably going to get a little bit more playtesting in and refine my list a little bit more before I post it later this week, but I've got a version somewhere in the middle of all that. I'm a big fan of Beacon Bolt. Bacon Bolt has been doing so much work for me lately. His list does have 3 Search for Escontas. I didn't like that either. I cut down to 2 in my list. I like Radical Idea. I think that one of the biggest ways I was losing when I was trying to play those versions of the deck was like I would play a 1,000-Year Storm, and then a Conclave Tribunal would catch my 1,000-Year Storm, right? And then I found that if I had some access to Blink of an Eye, you can Blink of an Eye and you basically 1,000-Year Storm for 2 mana on the turn that you want to storm off. Plus you get to Blink of an Eye as the first spell for that turn. So now you paid 2 mana, you blink the the Conclave Tribunal or the Ixalan's Binding or the enchantment base removal. You get your 1,000-Year Storm back. and then you can just kind of storm off from there. Um, I I am liking Blink of an Eye in mine. Bacon Bolt has been terrific. I like the Pirate's Pillage. Saffron's Olives version. Like I knew that you'd probably came off of Saffron Olives version as soon as you cast Pirate's Pillage, because his deck didn't have the card in it. But his deck also had the Anticipates. A lot of people are still running the Anticipates. I've had better luck with Radical Idea. Just because, you know, Radical Idea gives me that card in the graveyard and stuff like that. So that's kind of where I'm coming from. I don't want to be too deep on Chemist's Insight, so I've backed out a little bit there. But I think that you need the shocks, you need the lightning strikes, especially with the sheer number of White Weenie decks that have popped up. So. No Brass's Bounty in mine. I'm thinking that if we can get this deck to go off, we can go off. I'm not looking for any win more or anything like that. Did I say treasures? Did I say clues instead of treasures? Yes, treasures are greater than clues. Man, I don't know. Like, I've liked both of those mechanics. I really like the treasure mechanic. I love the clue mechanic. Tireless Tracker is still one of my favorite cards in that entire mechanic, like of clue producers. Pirate's Pillage is actually becoming one of my favorite treasure producing cards. So, I don't know. We need all the treasures though, right? We need them all. Not just enough to win. We need them all. Yeah, the deck actually it wins really, really simple, really easy, and it doesn't take a whole lot, so. But yeah, my list is kind of straightforward. I didn't go with any lands that were, not mana-producing lands or color-producing lands, just because I wanted to be able to get that Niv-Miz and stuff down. But yeah, after the mono black deck is done with, you think we can do a short, maybe 10-minute talk on pure upgrades for the deck? I know what you'd play, but you want to get everybody into a mini coffee. We can do that. I got like a little bit of flack. I had to even delete a comment or two off of the last video. I had another guy say something about we did 45 minutes of gameplay on Dev's deck and then 2 hours of net decking. I don't know how talking about our jank decks on Reddit is net decking, but whatever. I had some other people say some kind of not nice things. There was a 3-hour video, and Dev's deck was only like an hour and 5 minutes of the video or something like that. So I think at the end of Dev's decks from now on, I will do that. Like, we'll just go in and just kind of talk about that deck for a little bit. Not really going to go into Reddit and stuff like that with the Dev's decks. But as far as our other videos, though, I'm probably going to start doing like some mini coffee times at the end of our other videos, kind of like this video here. We'll sit around and we'll talk for a few minutes before we move on into either the next video or call it a night, just depending on where we're at. But that's going to be. I'm going to try to make that the theme going forward. So hopefully you guys will like that. So you can't sack a clue when tapped out. You can sack treasures to cast more spells. This is true, but I mean, if you don't have spells, then you need to sack. If you don't have spells, then you're not going to tap out in the first place, and you're going to need something to do with all that mana. So maybe the clue and the treasure are equal. Equal, yet on different sides of the coin. You can't be tapped out if you didn't have anything to cast, and in which case you can sack the treasures to sack the clues to draw the cards to make more treasures and make more clues. We can just draw a bunch more draw spells, right? Check out the historical Is It deck you posted this morning on Reddit. That's why you play Treasure Cove. Draw spells too. Seems good. Actually, I really like the Temptation card or whatever that gives you a treasure at the end of every turn, or at the end of at the beginning of your end. step. Clue support was arguably better. I had some pretty cool clue cards. Garpier Aether Grid and clues. Yeah, I had a Teamer clue deck that was a lot of fun. So, you saw Traxos. You like it? You like Traxos? You're gonna love Jareth Miles. Is it Dragons? He's got 4 copies of Thraxos in this thing. That's right. Is it Dragons? Sarkhan's Unsealing, Rekindling Phoenix, Blade Wings, Nicol Bolas, Dream Eater. Ah, what a thing, what a thing. Anyway, we got some cool decks coming up for you guys in the next couple days. We have got, like I said earlier, we've got Dev's Mono Black coming up here shortly. It is 10 minutes past the hour right now. I'm going to go ahead and close this stream out. And by 11:30, which will be 20 minutes from now, I plan on coming back up with Mono Black Aggro. So everybody stick around for that if you want to. Go check out Strictly Better Magic the Gathering. If you want to see his deck or his deck tech, I am going to go over the deck a little bit at the beginning of the show, like always. But that's going to do it for our Sub Sunday. You don't subscribe to tribal decks? Aww. You don't like tribal? He says he don't like tribal, but he used to run Eldrazi tribal. What's the closest thing to tribal I've ever seen you run, Jareth? Was your Eldrazi deck? It was Eldrazi tribal. Bunch of little... Wasn't Scions back then. We didn't call them Scions. Were they Scions? They weren't Scions. Were they? They were Eldrazi, like, Sapperlings or something like that. Yeah. Am I on Twitch? No, I do stream on Twitch occasionally, but for the most part, I stream right here on YouTube. So, every night here on YouTube. 5 nights a week anyway. So, Zombies. Oh, that's right. You didn't have the zombie tribal deck. That's right. Yeah. That's good. Guys, thanks for showing up. Ladies, as well. Can't forget about the ladies that are watching. Both of you. Anyway, I'm sure we got Katie somewhere around watching Kenneth's deck. Miss Katie. Yeah. Sporlings. Saporlings. Whatever. Andrew, thank you very much. Thank you for subscribing. Guys, we'll see you next time here on SideboardMtg. And stick around, or we'll see you back shortly for the aggro deck, or Mono Black Aggro. Remember, if you want to play any of the decks you've seen here tonight, or want to have your deck posted, post those decks over on the SideboardMtg subreddit, and if they get the most votes, we will play them on Subscriber Sunday. If you want to play any of these decks, even if you don't have the cards for them, Magic Online, or in Paper Magic, manatraders, great rental service, easy to use, and allows you to play with all the cards. Be a better Magic player. Yeah. Either way, if you do sign up, don't forget to use the coupon code SideboardMTGBlue. Save 15% on your first 3 months when you sign up. We'll see you next time.